This is the story of Leo, a super successful lawyer. For him, winning cases and making money are the only things that matter. He doesn't care about feelings, justice, or right and wrong. All he wants is to win. One day, while driving, Leo got into a terrible car accident. When he opened his eyes, he wasn't in the real world anymore. His soul had ended up in another realm. There, he found out something shocking. It turned out he had actually died by mistake. But luckily, his time wasn't up yet. Because of this mistake, the system in the spirit world made a decision that Liu can't stay there. Instead, she'll be sent back to Earth into someone else's body. Hearing this, Liu was completely shocked. Now, the story goes back a bit in time. At this point, Liu hasn't had the accident yet. For now, we see her as a lawyer. A schoolgirl and her mother were sitting in front of her. The girl's classmate had forced himself on her. They wanted to file a case against the boy. But Liu was the boy's lawyer. She just wanted her client to win. She wasn't interested in finding out whether what happened to the girl was true or not. She said without any pressure that you'll never win this case. You don't have much proof. If you take it to court, you'll just end up ruining your reputation. No guy will want to be with your girl after this. And if my client sues you for defamation, you won't even have the money to fight back. The girl and her mom got scared. They didn't have much money to fight the case anyway. They left the office and gave up on seeking justice. Leo knows the guy's in the wrong. Still, he protected him. He's got neither mercy nor love. He just wants to make money. His colleague tried to explain to him that he was wrong. You knew it, yet you still hurt the girl. You shouldn't have supported him. Lena didn't say anything. She just walked away without replying. Before going to Germany for further studies, she visited her mother's grave. She quietly said, "I'm going to Germany to study. I miss you so much. Please stay with me." From what she said, it was clear she had nothing to do with her father. He never really accepted her and was hardly there for her. She had just come back from the grave when her car got into that nasty accident. The next moment, she found herself standing in a really weird hall filled with lots of counters. There were many spirits lined up. For a moment, Lucy had no idea where she was. She asked a girl sitting at one of the counters, "What place is this?" The girl replied, "This is the luck counter. People come here after they die." Lucy couldn't believe it at first, but the truth was she was dead. This wasn't her body, it was her spirit. After a while, she was taken to the director of that place. He left. The director said, "Sorry, there was a mistake. Your time of death hadn't come yet. We were supposed to bring another woman. Her name was also Lou, and she was nearby. So we messed up a bit, but we need to fix this as soon as possible." Then he said, "Tonight, we'll send you into another woman's body. You'll keep your memories, but you'll have her face. She's going to have an accident tonight. When her soul leaves, you take her place." Lou didn't understand much, so there was no point in arguing. The next morning, she was anew. Life opened her eyes. She was lying in bed with a man. He's her new husband. She realized she now has 2 kids who love her a lot. Looking around the house, she figured out that this woman is a full-time housewife. She doesn't have a job or anything. After dropping her son at school, she went to her old law firm, but no one recognized her. Even her colleagues looked at her like she was a stranger. Leo understood there was no point in talking. Angry, she started feeling even more trapped. Leo thought, "I don't want this life." She stood right in front of a moving car. But when the driver saw her, he swerved. She just stood there, confused and upset. Later, when she went to the bathroom, suddenly the director of the spirit world appeared again. He said, "You've got to live this life. Try to enjoy it, or things won't go well for you." Leo snapped back angrily, "You sent me into the body of a woman who doesn't work. My whole life was about work." The director calmly replied, "Do you really think taking care of the home isn't work? It's one of the toughest jobs in the world. Taking care of the family. You gotta work 7 days a week." After talking to the director, Leo had no choice but to accept life as it was. She went to the grocery store to buy food for the family. She grabbed a bunch of stuff she thought was necessary. When she saw the bill at the counter and checked her bank balance, the money was low. At that moment, she realized the family wasn't rich at all. Damn, life threw me into the world of the poor. Now she had to be careful with spending. Just then, her phone rang. Her son was waiting at the bus stop. She quickly went to pick him up. Her son? He gave her a weird look. He felt like the woman in front of him wasn't really his mom. Liu finally understood his doubt. She sat down and told him the truth. She explained everything about the spirit world, the mistake, and the body swapping. But she also told a little lie. She said that his real mom would come back in 7 days because she didn't want to break the kid's heart. The boy listened quietly and then said, "Okay, I won't tell anyone." Then he started telling her what everyone in the house liked and didn't like. Slowly, a sweet bond began to grow between them. The friendship had just started. That night, Liu cooked dinner for everyone. She tried her best, but when the family ate, the husband and their eldest daughter said the taste was really bad. Liu got angry and shouted, "Just eat it quietly without any nonsense." Everyone went silent and ate without even a kiss. Later that night, in the bedroom, the husband said he had to go to a party soon. Liu happily said, "I want to buy a new dress for the party." Hearing this, the husband was surprised because his wife never spent money on herself. Still, he said, "All right, just pick out a dress." Later, he tried to get close to his wife, but Liu started feeling a bit uncomfortable. She made excuses, saying she wasn't feeling well and didn't want to pass her illness on to him. Eventually, she went and fell asleep on the living room sofa. The next morning, she went back to the grocery store with their son. This time, she bought everyone's favorite veggies and stuff. That night, when her husband came home from work, he saw that Liu hadn't just bought a dress for herself, but had also picked out some expensive clothes for him. His eyes went wide when he saw the price tags. He couldn't understand why. He came in wondering what was wrong with his wife. The woman who used to save every penny was now spending without a second thought. Calmly, he said, "We're saving this money for the kids' future." But Liu replied, "What's the point of earning money if we never enjoy it?" Hearing this, the husband felt sad and troubled. He left the house and went to the office to work overtime, hoping to make up for the extra money spent. Seeing him leave, Liu felt guilty and down. So, she went out once and ordered a drink. While she was sitting there, a woman came up to him. She actually knew the previous owner of this body and realized that Liu was that woman. She sat down next to him and said, "I really like your family. You and your husband manage everything together. You all are so beautiful. Seeing your family gives me hope." These words touched Liu's heart. For the first time, he felt proud not because he won a case, but because he was part of a loving home. When he stepped outside, he felt something new inside him. On the way home, he told his daughter about a boy. "I saw them together. They were about to kiss, but Liu quickly stepped in." The daughter got scared, but Liu didn't yell. She spoke gently. She said having a boyfriend isn't wrong, but at this age, you shouldn't be doing such things. Right now, your studies are more important. And why didn't you tell me about your boyfriend? The daughter thought she'd get angry or punished, but instead, she got understanding and love. Her eyes welled up. She said, "From today, I'll tell you everything." Gradually, with each passing day, Liu's heart started to change too. She grew closer to her children. She started to feel it. That night, the director of the spirit world came again. He smiled and said, "So, how does it feel now? Do you still hate your life?" Li took a deep breath and spoke honestly. "Life isn't as bad as I thought. Managing the house isn't useless. It's really important, and it's definitely not as easy as people think." As soon as he heard this, the director disappeared. Liu sat quietly and watched the video of her wedding on TV. She saw her husband smiling, laughing, looking at his wife with love. He was there. With his own eyes, he saw all the promises they had made to each other. Watching the video, a new feeling grew inside him. For the first time in his life, he wanted love. He wanted a real marriage, not just a relationship in name. Watching the video, he fell asleep on the sofa. A little while later, his husband came home from work. He gently woke him up and laid him down on the bed. The next morning, Li opened his eyes and saw a beautiful new dress laid out beside him. His husband had specially bought it for him. When he put on the dress and looked in the mirror, she smiled. Not because she looked beautiful, but because someone cared about her. That evening, she went to a party with her husband. There, she learned something she hadn't known before. Her husband is a very honest man. He could have easily made some shady money, but he refused to be part of any illegal work. Because of this honesty, he never got a promotion. His boss wanted him to help with corruption, but he always said no. Hearing this, Leo felt proud of him. She encouraged him and said, "If something's wrong, just speak up and tell your truth. Never stay silent." She took him to her boss and colleagues. But the boss didn't talk properly. In front of everyone, he humiliated Leo. Seeing his wife being disrespected, her husband couldn't stay quiet. Years of bottled up anger and pain came pouring out. He shouted loudly and clearly in front of everyone, "Hey, shut up. You're just a lowlife earning peanuts. You're pathetic." Everyone heard the truth. The boss, embarrassed and angry, left the party. For the first time, Leo's husband felt a bit relieved. Now things felt better. He was feeling it and knew it was all thanks to Leela's courage. After that incident, they had a really good time together. They went for a walk, laughed, and enjoyed the night like a real couple. Later, when he went back to his room at home, suddenly they heard crying from their daughter's room. They rushed over and saw a bruise on her face. Leo told his husband, "You go outside. I want to talk to her alone." As soon as he stepped out, their daughter started crying hard. She told the truth, that her boyfriend had tried to force himself on her. When I refused, so he hit me, but her husband heard everything. His heart broke and he got furious. He quietly left the house. That same night, he went to the guy's place and beat him up badly. The next day, the guy's family filed a police complaint. After that, Leo and her husband had to go to the police station. There, the guy was sitting with his family and a fancy lawyer. This was exactly the kind of situation Leo had created in her past life, where she saved the wrong people and scared the right ones. Suddenly, all these thoughts started spinning in her mind. She broke down completely in the bathroom, all her past mistakes and her greedy thirst for money hitting her at once. Tears started streaming down her face. She realized how much pain she had caused others. But this time, she wasn't going to run away from the situation. She came back and stood tall. Now she wasn't the cold-hearted lawyer she used to be, she was a mother and a woman demanding justice. She spoke with courage and clarity. She exposed all the lies of the boy's family and scared them just like she used to scare honest people before. At least now, her skill was being put to the right use. The boy's family got scared and withdrew their complaint. The boy apologized to Leo and his family. When they got home, the daughter was still upset. She said, "I'll never be able to trust any guy again." Leo sat beside her and gently said, "You met a bad person, but that doesn't mean all men in the world are bad. Don't harden your heart because of one bad person." The daughter quietly listened and hugged him. Day by day, the atmosphere at home became warmer. Her husband started laughing more. The son began staying close to her. The daughter opened up more. She started talking about everything. The house suddenly felt alive, filled with love. For the first time in her life, Lee felt something she had never experienced before: love, family, belonging, and happiness. Now, she wasn't just breathing, she was truly living. The next morning, when Lee was taking her son to school, something shocking happened. Her son started blinking rapidly and held his eyes. Then he said, "I can't see anything." His eyesight had completely gone. Fear gripped Lee. She immediately took him to the hospital. The doctor checked carefully and after a while looked at Liu and said that the cornea in his eyes was damaged. If they didn't operate right away, the boy could go blind forever. Hearing this, Liu froze. He felt scared, in pain, and completely helpless. But somehow, he pulled himself together. He told the doctor to start the operation. A few hours later, the surgery was over. The doctor came and said the patient's eyes were saved. Liu breathed a sigh of relief and tears started falling from his eyes. Not tears of sorrow, but tears of relief. The next day, when she was on her way to the hospital to see her son when suddenly the director appeared in front of her. His face was calm but serious. He quietly said, "Your 7 days are up. Now the time has come. You have to come with me." Leo's face turned pale. She looked toward the hospital building and softly said, "Please, just let me see them one more time. Just once." The director gently nodded. She went inside and first met her daughter. Her daughter hugged her tightly. Leo's heart broke because she knew this moment wouldn't come again. Then she went to her son. She went into the room. Her son smiled and said, "Mom, I can see you." His happiness stung Lee even more because she had to leave now. Finally, she met her husband. They quietly looked at each other. Without saying a word, they felt so much. After that, with a heavy heart, she stepped out of the hospital. The director was waiting by the car. She got in, and they drove towards the place where the first accident had happened, the same spot where it all began. On the way, the director spoke gently, like, "Hey, Father, I'm here for you. I know your dad. He regrets leaving you and your mom." He wanted to apologize, but his life ended before he could. Leo listened quietly, her eyes full of tears. The director spoke again. "You've held on to anger for years. If you can, try to let it go. Your dad kept looking for a chance to say sorry until his last breath. If he had the chance, he would have come back. Anyway, just as they reached the spot of the car accident, suddenly there was another crash. The glass shattered, the metal bent, and everything went dark. When Lee opened her eyes, Coley was lying on a hospital bed. She was alive, but everything felt so different. She remembered her family, love, laughter, pain, everything. Every day from the past week felt completely real. She got up right away and went to the hospital where her son's surgery was supposed to have happened. But the receptionist checked the computer and said no child by that name had an eye operation there. Leaves. Face went pale. She then ran to the house where she had been staying for the past 7 days. But now, a different family lived there. New voices, new faces. No trace of her old life. She didn't remember anything. She talked to the neighbors, hoping maybe someone would recognize her or mention her kids or family. But every neighbor said the same thing: "We don't know who you are. No family like that lives here. This is the first time we've seen you." Slowly, the truth sank in. Those 7 days, that family, that love will, it never really happened. Maybe it was just a dream, or a hallucination while she was in a coma. But even if those things weren't real, they changed her forever. In a moment, Lucy realized how she wanted to live her life from now on. She wasn't going to be the cold-hearted lawyer she used to be. A few days later, she went back to her law office. She met her colleague and said firmly, "Do you remember that case from last week? The boy we defended? I want to reopen that case. I have proof the girl was telling the truth. This time, we'll fight for that girl and her mother." Her colleague was shocked to hear this because this wasn't the Leo everyone knew. This was a whole new woman. Now, Leo truly understood what justice means. She understood. It wasn't just about trying hard for her. After getting better, Lee decided to live with her sister and little niece. Now she knew how important family really was. She helped with daily chores, played with her niece, and spent time with her sister. She felt a peace she had never felt before. One evening, she was looking through an old family photo album. She stopped at a picture where her parents were standing together. In the photo, her father looked just like the director she had seen in her dream. At that moment, everything became clear. Her father's spirit had come to visit her. She came to show him the way. She came to save him and also to apologize. His niece came close and asked if these were his mom and dad. Leo quietly nodded yes. The niece asked again, "Where are they?" Now, without any anger, Leo just smiled lovingly and said, "Wherever they are, I know they're with me and happy." For the first time in his life, he had no complaints. Before going to Germany to continue his studies, he went to his mother's grave. He knelt down and gently cleaned the stone with love. Done. Then, with a slight smile, she said softly, "I met Dad. You never told me he was so handsome. Don't worry about me. I'll be back soon, and I'll bring that wine you like." After that, she placed some flowers there and left. On the plane to Germany, fate gave her another surprise. A man came and sat next to her, someone she recognized immediately. He was the same man who had been her husband in her dream world. But in real life, for now, he was just a stranger. Seeing her, he looked surprised and said, "Lou, you recognized me?" "No. I was in your class. I used to sit a couple of rows behind you." One day, the girl casually mentioned that she really liked me back then. She even remembered that I once proposed to her. Liu smiled, remembering how grumpy she used to be. She always kept to herself, sitting all the way at the back. When they started talking to each other, the guy honestly told her that he had started a business, but it failed. Now he works at a company. But by then, Liu didn't really care about money anymore. She saw that this guy was exactly the same, completely honest. She was already lost in her dream world and had already accepted him as her husband. Then Liu smiled and softly asked, "How are your kids?" He laughed and said, "I haven't even gotten married yet." Liu laughed too. Now she understood everything. The kids she had loved, hugged, and protected weren't just a fantasy. They were his future, the kids they were going to have together. Liu gently asked, "Can I Have your number? And in that moment, he chose love over fear. If you like the video, don't forget to like it and subscribe to the channel. Make sure to subscribe.